On this planet, there are roads so dangerous and so illogical that they seem to defy physics itself. They cling to vertical cliffs, twist through mountains, and cut through landscapes where one small mistake can mean the point of no return. Some cross fragile bridges above terrifying drops, while others hang over abysses so deep that even looking down feels impossible. Beyond their breathtaking views lies a harsher reality of blind turns, falling rocks, violent winds, collapsing edges, and extreme weather. All of them challenge the limits of human courage, engineering, and survival. Today, we begin a journey across the world's most dangerous roads and uncover the impossible routes that should not exist, yet somehow still do. The Fairy Meadows Road in Pakistan stands tall, like a thin, fragile thread, clinging tightly to vertical cliffs among the world's highest and sharpest mountain ranges. The journey traveling on an off-road vehicle through narrow sections without guardrails will provide you with extremely thrilling and very dangerous adventurous experiences today. The terrain of this area consists mainly of gravel and arid soil, creating a bumpy and dusty path running along the very deep mountain canyons. Local indigenous people manually dug and built this primitive path into the mountainside to connect the green meadows with the vast world far away outside. The landscape changes abruptly from bare cliffs to soft grass carpets and lush green pine forests, creating an incredibly strong and very beautiful natural contrast. Off-road drivers here must possess masterful skills to steer wheels rolling close to the edge of the abyss several hundred feet deep in the mountains. Located on the Chilean border, the Los Caracoles Pass stands as a mad traffic engineering feat with 29 consecutive switchbacks on the Andes Mountains. Massive 18-wheeler trucks must navigate inches from cliffs thousands of feet deep without any protective guardrails for safety. This mountain route reaches a record altitude of 10,400 feet, causing air pressure to drop and directly affecting engine performance. Black ice and snow layers tens of feet thick frequently cover the road, turning the asphalt surface into an extremely hazardous skating rink. The road structure twists so sharply that it generates massive inertia, forcing truck braking systems to operate far beyond their physical limits. Conquering the Los Caracoles Pass is considered a true survival challenge for any driver facing this steep and vertical terrain. Located in western Norway, Trollstigen is a serpentine mountain road passing steep cliffs, offering a rare and adventurous driving experience. The road extends about 5 miles, with 11 consecutive switchback curves turning 180 degrees, demonstrating complex and precise mountain road engineering. Some sections have steep slopes, requiring drivers to carefully control speed and apply advanced driving skills for safety. Trollstigen passes over granite and limestone mountains, with high vertical cliffs requiring special construction to prevent landslides and continuous monitoring. Valleys and streams below the road create elevation contrasts, highlighting the rugged terrain and influencing travel directions. It is recognized as one of the most famous serpentine mountain roads in Europe, attracting thousands of visitors each open season to experience engineering and dramatic mountain landscapes. This is the Sea-Doo River Bridge, an architectural marvel that once held the world record for height, hanging above a deep valley in Hubei Province, China. With the deck sitting about 1,627 feet above the ground, this structure creates an overwhelming space between vertical cliffs and wild forests. The valley where the bridge stands is a rugged canyon, providing ideal natural conditions for building such a unique and massive suspension system high in the air. Although designed with a wide roadway for vehicles, right beneath the wheels lies a 500-meter abyss filled only with sharp rocks and dense trees. This bridge serves as a vital part of the highway system, effectively connecting remote mountainous regions with the much larger and busier cities located further down below. Sidhu River has now become a perfect destination for engineering fans and photographers, thanks to the incredibly majestic and impressive mountain landscapes surrounding the entire structure. In the Vendée region of France lies Passage du Gois, a 2.5-mile-long road connecting Noirmoutier Island to the mainland that frequently vanishes. Twice every day, the entire surface of this route is completely submerged under ocean waters, reaching depths of 4 feet to 13 feet. Travelers have only a brief 90-minute window to cross before powerful tides rush in and erase every trace of the path. The rising water speed is so incredibly fast that drivers who miscalculate the timing easily become trapped amidst deadly swirling currents. Tall steel rescue towers stand along the road as the final refuge for people forced to abandon their vehicles to the sea. Slippery cobblestones, covered in algae combined with dense fog, make this location one of the most dangerous places on Earth for any vehicle. In northeastern Turkey, the D915 Bayburt Road ranks as the most dangerous passage on Earth due to its extreme and lethal structural design. This route rises from sea level to an elevation of 6,660 feet along steep cliffs without any protective guardrails. Russian soldiers in 1916 used explosives and primitive tools to carve this narrow path of only 10 feet wide directly into the mountain. The most suffocating section spans 3 miles and features 29 consecutive hairpin turns that force every vehicle to move at a very slow pace. The surface consists mainly of rough dirt and loose stones prone to landslides, causing tires to frequently grip the edge of 1,000-foot deep abysses. Drivers must operate their vehicles in the lowest gear throughout the long journey to maintain absolute control against these deadly curves. Running through the rugged border regions of northern Pakistan, the Karakoram Highway appears as an architectural feat, clinging tightly to the very steep and vertical cliffs. Drivers must face narrow road sections right beside abysses 3,000 feet deep, where just one small mistake can lead to extremely unpredictable and fatal consequences. This unique location is the only place on Earth witnessing the convergence of the 3 greatest mountain ranges, including the Himalayas and Karakoram and Hindu Kush. Thousands of workers worked hard for 20 years to complete this highest paved road in the world, creating a lasting symbol of human will and persistence. Landscapes along the journey change abruptly between dry, grey rock formations and ancient glaciers, shining like long silver ribbons across the high and mighty mountain peaks. This legendary route is nicknamed the 8th wonder of the world, with the ability to operate stably at an elevation of nearly 15,000 feet high. Located at the Titlis summit at 10,000 feet, the Titlis Cliff Walk Bridge is a true challenge for anyone wanting to conquer the snowy mountains of Switzerland. The area surrounding this structure is covered in limestone and permanent ice, creating a cold and wild natural landscape that appears incredibly sharp and majestic to everyone. While crossing, one side is a vertical rock wall while the other is open sky, making you feel as if you are walking on the very edge. This bridge was designed to connect various mountaintop attractions, including the famous Ice Flyer Glacier Chairlift and several popular high-altitude skiing areas located nearby. Because of the transparent glass sections, many visitors often feel anxious while looking down into the deep abyss right beneath their feet during the entire mountain crossing. Its prime location on the mountain peak allows us to enjoy a full 360-degree view of the Grand Alps and distant glaciers stretching infinitely away. At Switzerland's Triff Suspension Bridge, a thin thread spanning across a steep glacial valley is the only way for us to finally conquer these majestic and high mountain peaks. Here, the valley lies deep between slate cliffs and ancient glaciers, opening up an overwhelming and characteristic mountain landscape of Western Europe covered in very cold, eternal snow. Seen from a distance, the bridge connects two steep mountainsides, while the grey-blue Triffsee Lake quietly reflects the image of the incredibly deep and silent abyss below. Stepping onto the bridge is not just a journey, but crossing a gateway suspended between heaven and earth, completely isolated from the rest of the busy modern world. The feeling of being pressed by grand nature is real, with sharp rocks and cold lakes below, and the vast alpine sky stretching infinitely above each single step. Combined with harsh mountain climates, strong winds, and white snow make every crossing a dramatic mental challenge that is truly intense for anyone brave enough to attempt it. Reigning over the rugged border between Italy and Switzerland, the Passo dello Stelvio Pass winds like a long ribbon draped across the mighty Alps mountain range. Drivers must face 48 sharp hairpin turns numbered on the rocks, creating a continuous spiral journey full of drama for every single brave traveler. The terrain here is dominated by grey limestone cliffs and permanent ice blocks, creating a harsh and lonely beauty amidst the vast and silent mountains. This route is a 19th century engineering achievement with a vertical zigzag structure challenging all laws of steepness in modern and ancient transportation construction. The global community of speed enthusiasts affectionately granted the title Queen of the Mountain Passes to honor the truly magnificent beauty of this legendary landmark. Every year, thousands of cyclists flock here to conquer the 9,000 feet elevation, turning the road into a stadium full of bright and vibrant life. Hussaini Hanging Bridge is located in the Karakoram Mountains of northern Pakistan, crossing the swirling Hunza River amidst a wild, majestic, and extremely dangerous natural landscape of the region.
Music licensing.
Viewed from a long distance, this bridge looks like a fragile thread hanging between two cliffs, making anyone feel a sense of trembling fear before they even step on. Directly below is the freezing Hunza River with murky meltwater, ensuring that every single look down into the deep abyss becomes a haunting and truly terrifying experience for everyone.
Music licensing reimagined.
With its sparse wooden planks and very old cables, this place is often called by international media as one of the most dangerous hanging bridges on the entire planet. For many decades, the bridge has served as a symbol of the resilience and incredible creativity of local people living within these extremely harsh and very difficult natural conditions.
Music licensing reimagined.
This is an unmissable destination for adventure seekers who long to conquer places that seem impossible and are looking for the ultimate thrill through this very unique experience. This is Paso de los Libertadores, a dangerous road with sharp switchbacks clinging to steep Andean cliffs at an elevation of over 10,800 feet high. This road is a vital link between Chile and Argentina, where grey, rocky mountains and white snow cover the landscape year-round, creating a cold and harsh environment. Seen from above, the constant zigzagging turns form a complex transportation system so intense that it can make any experienced driver feel dizzy and stressed while driving through. Here, heavy-duty trucks are forced to crawl slowly through tight corners while facing powerful wind gusts and deadly, slippery ice on the narrow and unprotected mountain road surface. Reaching over 10,000 feet, the thin air quickly exhausts both people and machines, making the task of driving extremely tense and much more difficult than on planes. For most travelers, crossing this mountain pass is a breathtaking experience, and they often lack the courage to look for long into the deep abyss along the edge. Do you dare to walk on these violently swaying wooden planks while a massive abyss and roaring ocean waves crash right beneath your feet at Carricker Reed? This rope bridge has existed for over 350 years, originally built by brave fishermen to face the raw and powerful anger of the wild sea. With only a few cables and sparse wooden slats, every single step you take causes the entire structure to sway heavily amidst the vast and open air. On both sides are vertical cliffs and swirling seawater, creating a feeling of walking on a very thin boundary between the solid land and the open ocean. Many visitors come here to film, take photos, or simply to prove to themselves having enough courage to overcome an extreme and very intense fear of heights. Although only 66 feet long, the height and swaying of the ropes make every single step a dramatic mental challenge for those brave enough to try crossing. Imagine Guoliang Tunnel Road in China, a dangerous and unique mountain road carved straight into vertical cliffs with dramatic scenery. The road winds along the cliffs, creating narrow curves barely wide enough for one lane, forcing careful movement. The windows carved into the cliff allow light and views into the deep canyon below, showing the full scale of the gorge. The average height of the road above the ground below is 600 feet, making each passage challenging and hazardous. Construction was done entirely by hand over more than 5 years, carving through limestone to form a narrow, winding mountain path. Guoliang Tunnel Road is one of the few hand-carved mountain tunnels stretching miles with a stable structure through vertical cliffs almost nowhere else in the world. Sani Pass is located on the border of South Africa and Lesotho, with elevations ranging from 6,000 to 9,400 feet, known for hairpin turns and steep slopes challenging travelers. Continuous curves combined with steep mountain slopes and deep valleys on both sides create dramatic and challenging conditions for movement. The entire route is approximately 5 miles long, and travel usually takes 1 to 2 hours, depending on the vehicle and weather conditions. Visitors usually approach Sani Pass in 4-wheel drive or heavy vehicles to safely navigate steep basalt slopes and rugged terrain. Some cliff sections around the pass rise steeply, creating rugged exposure and wide views while allowing observation of mountain erosion processes. The scenery changes continuously along each curve, with deep valleys, basalt rocks, and steep slopes rarely seen on African mountain passes. Entering the Atlantic Ocean Road in Norway, you will face Storsesundet, a strange bridge with a shape that looks like a ramp diving straight into the sea. Stretching about 850 feet long, this structure curves high into the air and suddenly disappears, creating an incredibly terrifying visual illusion for all drivers. From a distance, the bridge looks like a thin ribbon piercing through the ocean, making visitors feel as if they are driving into the deep blue. The unique spiral design helps the bridge withstand powerful wind pressure, but these twisted curves also create a strong sense of instability for every single driver. Locals call it the Drunk Bridge because of its strange zigzag shape that easily tricks the eyes and makes people lose their sense of direction. Driving across is a true test of courage, as every meter requires you to face powerful illusions, howling winds, and crashing waves right beneath your feet. In Bolivia, the North Yungas Road is a lethal path carved into the Andes cliffs with a steep drop from 15,400 feet to 3,900 feet. This route is only 10 feet wide and lacks safety barriers, while sitting above a massive abyss reaching depths of 2,000 feet. Before 2006, approximately 300 people died here annually, making it the most dangerous road in the world, according to international rankings. Heavy waterfalls pour directly onto the road surface, causing landslides and turning the path into a slippery stretch of thick mud. Drivers must stay on the left side to monitor their wheels near the cliff edge and give priority to vehicles traveling uphill. Thick fog completely hides the path, forcing vehicles to move through low oxygen conditions with a very high risk of falling over the edge. Located at an altitude of 13,054 feet in the majestic Himalayas of India, Rohtang Pass challenges all survival limits with its extremely rugged terrain. The name of this road means a pile of corpses, referring to the tragic history of many people who died while crossing here. Every year, the military must mobilize heavy machinery to work continuously for months to excavate the 50 feet thick snow layer burying the road. Giant ice walls as high as a 5-story building stand vertically along both sides, creating a threatening white corridor for vehicles. The 40% drop in oxygen concentration at the summit causes drivers to easily fall into a state of hallucination and lose vehicle control. When the snow melts, the asphalt surface turns into mud pits several feet deep, ready to trap and overturn heavy trucks. Transfagarasan Highway is located among the Carpathian Peaks in Romania, notable for spectacular curves and rocky mountain scenery, attracting drivers from around the world. Engineers designed the road with moderate slopes, combined with multiple curves, ensuring safe operation for all vehicles. Traveling along the highway allows full view of valleys, lakes, and high meadows, interspersed with exposed rock formations. Rainfall and melting snow are channeled into drainage systems, reducing erosion and landslide risk along the road surface. The highway stretches about 90 miles and passes sections over 6,500 feet high, creating significant technical challenges for all vehicles. Some sections have long tunnels, allowing cars to cross mountains and save distance compared to climbing directly. Spanning 1,150 miles across the remote Western Australia, the Canning Stock route stands as the most brutal and isolated expedition track on our planet. To complete the journey, 4-wheel drive vehicles must conquer over 1,000 giant sand dunes with steep slopes reaching heights of 50 feet. The road surface is deformed into continuous ripples that create intense vibrations, powerful enough to snap steel axles or destroy vehicle engines. A system of 51 wells hand, dug in 1910, serves as the only water source in a desert completely lacking gas stations or food. The white salt lakes surrounding the track frequently form thick mud traps capable of swallowing vehicles weighing 6,600 pounds. Traveling here requires 80 gallons of spare fuel because you will be 500 miles away from the nearest civilization in every direction. At an altitude of 11,575 feet in Ladakh, India, Zoji La Pass appears as a deadly cut connecting green valleys and stone deserts. This route is globally famous for having absolutely no guardrail systems, while the cliffs at the edge drop steeply down 1,000 feet. In winter, massive snowstorms can accumulate layers of snow over 50 feet thick, completely erasing all traces of the motor road. The extremely narrow road surface only fits one lane, forcing drivers to reverse hundreds of feet near the abyss whenever they encounter oncoming vehicles. In 1948, the Indian Army set an incredible record by disassembling and bringing heavy tanks across this treacherous terrain. Currently, a mountain tunnel project 8.8 miles long is being implemented to replace the existing risky and deadly travel route. The Grossglockner High Alpine Road in Austria stretches nearly 30 miles, challenging every driver with 36 sharp and dangerous hairpin turns along the mountain range. As the highest paved road in Austria, winter ice and heavy snow can easily turn the surface into a slippery trap that is difficult to control. The road looks like a winding black ribbon, clinging to the mountainside, with steep rocky cliffs on one side and deep, cloud-filled valleys on the other. This iconic route perfectly combines modern engineering and alpine history, creating a unique driving experience that offers both breathtaking views and significant high-altitude risks. Certain sections leading up to the Edelweiss Spitze still feature original cobblestones, making travelers feel as if they are driving through history rather than just mountains. The journey takes you through 4 distinct climate zones, from lush green valleys to freezing glaciers and peaks, showing different worlds within just a few dozen miles. Located at an elevation of 9,045 feet in the Italian Alps, the Stelvio Pass Road is considered one of the most physics-defying architectural wonders on the planet. This route is famous for 75 sharp turns, including 48 hairpin bends numbered consecutively on the eastern slope of the mountain wall. With an average gradient of 7.4%, drivers must constantly maneuver vehicles through steep sections over a 30-mile journey. Low stone retaining walls standing only 2 feet high are the only fragile boundary separating traffic from the abyss thousands of feet deep. Due to extreme terrain and snow reaching 20 feet deep, this road must be completely closed from November to May every year. Thousands of workers used explosives to carve into the vertical cliffs to create an infrastructure shaped like a giant rope. This is the Lysebotn Road in Norway, a stunning ribbon of asphalt that winds between vertical mountain walls and the deep waters of the Lyse Fjord. You will feel an incredible rush of adrenaline as you climb steadily from the sea level to an elevation of nearly 2,000 feet. Featuring 27 sharp hairpin turns, every mile of this mountain journey serves as a demanding test of your precision and vehicle control skills. Below you, the deep fjord waters and jagged rocks create a landscape that is breathtakingly beautiful, yet remains intimidating to even the most experienced drivers. This route serves as a vital connection to the harbor and is the famous starting point for travelers headed towards the legendary pre-Castolan cliffside. The Norwegian government has heavily invested in this road to ensure that visitors can safely access some of the most spectacular fjord views in the world. The Keelong-Kishtwar Road in India stands as a dangerous cut running along the steep limestone cliffs of the majestic and very high Himalayan mountain range. You will experience breathless moments when driving on a narrow road surface near the abyss edge without any protective guardrails for your vehicle's safety today. The geological structure here changes frequently, with large rocks that can fall onto the road surface at any time during the entire long mountain journey. Drivers must maintain absolute concentration to overcome the long 145-mile road full of natural traps and very scary obstacles on the path. In the Veneto region of Italy, Passo di San Boldo stands like a crazy cut straight through the steep limestone cliffs of the Alps. This wonder was built at high speed in only 100 days in 1918 by thousands of workers for urgent military needs. The road must climb an elevation of 2,316 feet using 5 spiral tunnels stacked unrealistically inside the mountain. With a width of only 9 feet, vehicles must follow traffic lights to move in one-way turns through the tunnels. Stone windows carved directly into the cliff create views straight down into the deep abyss, while the low tunnel ceiling is limited to 10 feet. Driving here requires absolute focus because the 180-degree sharp turns and narrow road always challenge every safety limit. BR 116 in Brazil is the longest highway in the country, connecting key economic regions through hills, plateaus, and valleys, creating an impressive driving experience. Some sections have slopes up to 12%, requiring special construction techniques to ensure safe vehicle passage. The highway passes through many plateaus and wide valleys with straight stretches and winding curves, providing diverse driving conditions. BR 116 carries an average of 200,000 vehicles per day, reflecting its major economic role in national logistics. Bridges and tunnels on the route were designed to cross deep valleys and steep slopes using modern engineering technology. BR 116 is the main traffic artery connecting southern, central, and eastern Brazil, supporting national economic development. Stretching 92 miles across the Carpathian Mountains, the Transalpina reaches a maximum elevation of nearly 7,000 feet, making it the highest road in Romania. Known as the King's Road, this historic route was significantly upgraded under the orders of the Romanian king during the early 20th century. The path was further developed during World War II to serve both strategic military movements and essential local transportation across the rugged mountain terrain. From the highest peaks, your view captures endless mountain ridges that resemble waves stretching for dozens of miles toward the distant horizon. Directly below you lie deep valleys filled with jagged rocks and dense vegetation clinging to the steep cliffs in a stunning yet intimidating display. Various international programs have consistently recognized the Transalpina as one of the most impressive and challenging driving routes in all of Europe. In southwestern New Zealand lies Skipper's Canyon Road, a death-defying route stretching 13.7 miles, carved entirely by hand into sheer cliffs. You will face path sections only 6.5 feet wide, meaning you are just a few inches from a 400-foot deep abyss. Its danger is so extreme that 100% of car rental companies in this country refuse insurance if you drive here. Nineteenth-century miners had to hang from ropes to chisel rock and set explosives to create the crumbly schist road surface. This route features a suspension bridge hanging at a height of 300 feet, which is equal to a 30-story building today. Traveling here is an extreme physical challenge, as hair-raising switchbacks appear constantly without any protective guardrails. Located in the Cordillera Mountains of the Philippines, Halsema Highway is a challenging transportation infrastructure reaching an elevation of 7,400 feet above sea level. This route is globally famous for its high fatality rate due to massive landslides that frequently sweep the entire road surface into the valley. Extreme gradients and constant hairpin turns Core's vehicle braking systems to easily fail completely after only a short distance of travel. Visibility here is often obscured by fog to the point of 0 feet, causing drivers to completely lose their orientation between cliffs and deep abysses. Some sections are so narrow that tires are only 2 inches from the edge of the precipice, while there are no guardrails or rescue equipment. Traveling on this 93 miles long road is a near-death experience because the terrain is heavily fragmented by intense geological activities. The Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge stretches about 1,410 feet long, crossing a deep canyon in Hunan Province at nearly 1,000 feet high with very stunning views. From a distance, the bridge looks like a transparent metallic ribbon hanging in mid-air, turning the 300-meter depth into a challenging backdrop for every single step you take. The floor, made of transparent glass, allows you to look straight down to the canyon bottom, where trees, rocks, and a very deep, endless void lie far below your feet. The terrain features vertical cliffs and mystical, misty forests, creating a natural setting that is both heavenly beautiful and extremely precarious for anyone brave enough to walk across it. Many visitors admit they only manage to cross by gripping the handrails and looking straight ahead because the glass forces them to face the terrifying abyss right beneath them. Upon its debut, this structure became one of the longest glass bridges in the world, a great symbol of China's proud and very successful adventure tourism industry for everyone. Hidden deep within the remote Iya Valley of Japan, the Iya Kazurabashi Bridge stretches 148 feet across a deep and rocky river. Suspended 46 feet above the water, the rugged terrain and dense forests make this journey feel both wild and incredibly challenging for every visitor. The bridge floor consists of wooden planks spaced about 4 inches apart, forcing travelers to place every single step carefully to avoid slipping through. According to legend, Taira clan warriors used vines to build these bridges so they could easily cut them down while fleeing from their enemies long ago. Lacking proper safety railings, many people with a fear of heights must grip the vines tightly or even crawl to maintain their balance while crossing. Each structure is hand-woven from 5 tons of natural forest vines, creating a unique walking path that blends perfectly into the surrounding wild Japanese nature. The Kishtwar to Killa Road, connecting Jammu Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh in India, emerges as a treacherous path carved through the majestic and grand Himalayan mountain wilderness. This route was manually hacked directly into steep limestone cliffs, creating massive rock overhangs that completely cover the rugged and very narrow dirt passage. The path width is barely 10 feet wide, which is roughly the size of a large dining table, making driving a difficult mental puzzle. You will witness waterfalls plunging from the mountain peaks, hitting the car roof, and creating a mystical mist covering the cold and hard metal. Local residents still silently cross this mountain trail every day on simple vehicles to transport essential supplies between their remote and very isolated small villages. Many experienced drivers often stop to pray before entering the jagged cliff section because a mistake of just 0.1 inches is fatal. Stretching along the southeastern boundary of the Australian continent, the Great Ocean Road winds like a stone ribbon, connecting the deep blue ocean with majestic limestone cliffs. Built by the hands of thousands of returning soldiers, this massive 150-mile-long project created a memorial twice as long as the English Channel. These lonely stone pillars standing apart in the water result from persistent erosion, where waves carved the cliffs into arches, then left separate rugged towers. Natural forces have personally sculpted these towering architectural blocks, turning this coastal region into a vivid and pristine geological museum for all visitors to admire. Local fishermen still pass down stories about spirits of the sea guarding this land where hundreds of ancient ships once remained forever beneath the waves. The daily life of residents here flows simply beside dense eucalyptus forests while preserving the original harmony, together with the constant breath of the great ocean. Hidden among the towering mountain ranges of the country of Morocco, the Dade's Gorge's Canyon appears as a glowing red stone labyrinth, challenging every human sense. You will have to perform continuous steering movements when facing sharp curves stacked on top of each other like the many folds of springs. Millions of years of erosion have carved rounded sandstone blocks, creating the shape of giant stone fingers rising from the very dry and ancient earth. The native Berber people built mud brick fortresses right against the mountain walls, creating a perfect intersection between the local architecture and the natural stone. The Dades River at the bottom of the abyss acts as the only blood vessel nourishing green oasis strips within this extremely harsh geological region. Vertical cliffs rise 1,000 feet high, equivalent to 3 football fields stacked together, creating a massive natural wall that protects the deep and wide valley. The Tianmen Mountain Road in Hunan Province, China, stands tall like a soft stone ribbon, winding gracefully around the steep and very dangerous limestone mountain cliffs. Dense blankets of thick fog frequently cover the passage, making the scenery appear and then vanish like a labyrinth leading into a mystical fairy realm. Laborers had to hang on ropes above deep abysses for 8 long years to carve the cliffs and build this amazing and great architectural feat. The total of 99 sharp bends represents eternity and supreme power, bringing a firm belief in good luck for those who are truly brave. This route takes travelers from 650 feet up to 4,265 feet high, like 4 Eiffel Towers stacked together. You must steer the wheel 99 times over a short 7-mile journey to conquer these narrow turns that challenge every single physical limit. The Dalton Highway in Alaska, United States, stretches out like a fragile thread through the desolate northern wilderness and filled with many hidden, lurking dangers. The journey to conquer this gravel path requires you to carry full supplies because service stations are located several hundred miles apart from each other. This route runs parallel to the giant oil pipeline, winding through valleys, creating a strange intersection between heavy machinery and the vast natural world. The ground here is permanently frozen beneath low tundra vegetation, creating a natural foundation that is extremely solid and mysterious to all the travelers. Heavy truck drivers frequently travel on this 414-mile-long route to provide equipment for those very remote and distant oil mining regions. Herds of caribou and muskoxen often appear through the thick dust clouds, reminding that humans are only guests in the territory of wild animals. The Taroko Gorge Road in Taiwan emerges as a treacherous cut, running through giant marble blocks, standing tall and majestic between the earth and the sky. You will hold your breath while driving through narrow tunnel sections with rock walls protruding near the car roof, creating a dramatic and thrilling journey. The turquoise river flowing tirelessly at the bottom of the canyon has eroded hard rock for millions of years to create this unique natural terrain. Thousands of workers use shovels and explosives to carve this path directly into the vertical cliff walls over many difficult and very long working years. The route winds along natural cracks in the marble to form a wild geological art corridor in the middle of the high mountain region landscapes. The sacrifice of those construction workers has turned the deadly cliffs into a symbol for the persistence and incredible strength of the entire human race. The Col de Turini Road, located in the Alpes Maritimes region of France, stands tall like a stone labyrinth, winding between high and very dangerous mountain cliffs. You will have to face dozens of continuous hairpin turns that require extremely skillful vehicle control techniques and very high concentration during the long drive. This route climbs to an elevation of 5,272 feet above sea level, creating clear changes in vegetation from pine forests to limestone. Legendary racing events frequently choose this place as an arena to challenge the limits of professional drivers from all around the entire world every single year. The narrow asphalt strip winds and stacks on each other like giant ropes forgotten by someone on the very steep slopes of the French Alps mountains. Local people consider this road as a cultural thread, connecting those very remote valley areas with the busy and bustling urban centers of the country of France. Deep within the rugged valleys of Rauma in Norway, the Trollstigen Road appears as an engineering masterpiece that challenges all limits of the natural world. Drivers must face 11 sharp hairpin turns, carved directly into the steep vertical cliffs with a continuous slope of about 10% on the road. The terrain here is dominated by massive quartz rock formations and a powerful waterfall pouring down, creating a mysterious and very dramatic surrounding space. Protective walls along the route were built entirely from natural stone, to preserve the raw and rustic beauty of the remote and wild Nordic region. The name Path of the Trolls reflects folk beliefs about legendary creatures often hiding within the deep and dark stone caves found at this site. Each travel season through here brings a dramatic feeling, as mist from the great waterfall often covers the road surface, creating a thick natural curtain. Running through the heart of the Himalayas in northern India, the Leh-Manali Highway appears as a thin thread, clinging tightly to the steep mountain cliffs. This journey forces drivers to cross freezing glacial streams, cutting across the asphalt road at extremely dangerous and very steep mountain pass sections. The terrain changes abruptly from dense pine forests to dry, cold deserts with limestone mountain ranges as sharp as the teeth of a giant saw. This strategically important route was built and is maintained by military engineering units under very complex and difficult geological conditions during many long years. The presence of vast plains located at an elevation of over 13,000 feet creates a flat space, contrasting completely with the surrounding mountain majesty. Each year, this route only operates for about 5 months, when deep snow layers are cleared to connect the high plateau with the outside world. The James W. Dalton Highway in Alaska, United States, stands like a dusty gray ribbon stretched across the snowy and extremely lonely northern Arctic plains of the world. You need excellent survival skills because cell phone signals completely vanish over hundreds of miles with no other people passing by during the entire long trip. The steel oil pipeline structure running along the path acts as a metallic companion in the middle of this vast and very wild open space today. Thousand-year-old permafrost layers serve as a solid natural foundation for those massive and heavy trucks carrying huge loads of goods to the far north. Grizzly bears and musk oxen sometimes cross through thick dust clouds, creating a wonderful and surprising scene for this long and very adventurous wilderness discovery journey. Running along the rugged western edge of Norway, the Atlantic Ocean Road appears as a stone ribbon, connecting small islands in the middle of the ocean. Drivers must face giant waves, crashing directly onto the asphalt surface when high tides rise during the very powerful and dangerous ocean storm events. The terrain here includes a chain of low rocky islands and ancient coral reefs located near the water, creating a truly unique geological structure. The architecture of the route features winding bridges with unrealistic curves designed to help the structure stand firm against the great power of nature. The title of the world's most beautiful road proves the absolute harmony between modern engineering and the raw beauty of the vast open sea. During the 6-year construction period, the workers had to overcome 12 major storms to complete this magnificent and very great transportation project. Reaching toward the remote Arctic region of Norway, the E6 Highway North Cape route guides travelers into the most wild lands of the entire European continent. This journey forces drivers to cross through tunnels deep 696 feet beneath the ocean floor to connect isolated rocky islands. The tundra terrain here is dominated by low vegetation, clinging to the ground, along with ancient rock formations eroded by the harsh, icy weather. The route is regarded as a modern architectural masterpiece by conquering rugged terrain to maintain the vital traffic artery for the extreme polar region. The title Road to the End of the World reflects the special status of this landmark as the final milestone before the Arctic Ocean. Herds of reindeer often leisurely cross the asphalt road surface, creating many unexpected and interesting traffic situations for every single visiting tourist traveling here. Perched high in India's Ladakh range, the Kardungla Pass is one of the planet's most treacherous roads, reaching an elevation of over 17,000 feet. Here, oxygen levels drop to just 50%, causing the human brain to easily enter a state of disorientation or deep coma. Military doctors order travelers not to stay longer than 20 minutes to avoid the risk of acute pulmonary edema caused by the extremely low pressure. Ice walls up to 20 feet thick stand vertically on both sides of the road, always threatening to collapse onto any vehicle moving below. Truck drivers must reverse their wheels to the very edge of abysses thousands of feet deep to negotiate sharp turns that have no protective barriers. Vehicle braking systems frequently become red-hot and completely lose control when forced to constantly brake on slopes with a non-physical terrain structure. The Sichuan-Tibet Highway is one of the highest roads in China, stretching approximately 1,300 miles to connect Sichuan with the majestic and vast Tibetan Plateau. Despite extreme dangers, this highway remains a vital strategic artery connecting Western China with the remote regions of Tibet across these high and very rugged mountain ranges. The road winds gracefully across steep slopes, forming a continuous chain of spectacular curves that cling tightly to the massive and extremely dangerous cliffs throughout the entire mountain journey. Many sections are located in high-risk zones for landslides and falling rocks, making you feel constant tension, especially during the rainy season or the annual snow melting. Sitting in a vehicle crossing these passes feels like climbing straight into the sky, where the earth, rocks, and clouds seem to blend together into one single entity. Here, you will see the road as a thin ribbon pressed against the mountainside, where even a small mistake is enough to plunge a vehicle into the deep abyss. The Aiguille du Midi Bridge is located at 12,600 feet in the French Alps, connecting eternal snow peaks amidst a vast and incredibly majestic open space. The cable car system takes visitors up in 20 minutes, with most sections having no support pillars, creating a breathtaking and overwhelming journey straight to the very high summit. Both sides of the bridge feature vertical cliffs and white glaciers, giving you the feeling of walking on a silk ribbon, connecting two frozen islands in the freezing sky. The narrow bridge is like a thin metal strip, joining two massive rock formations, surrounded only by clouds and the deep, silent void right beneath your every single step. Built in 1955, this cable car once held the world record for height and remains a proud engineering symbol of France with its extreme and very steep slopes. Due to the limited bridge surface, the flow of people is always strictly controlled to ensure absolute safety for visitors while they are conquering this legendary and icy peak. This is the Capilano Suspension Bridge, a hanging wonder suspended amidst the lush green valleys of North Vancouver, where ancient rainforests surround every single step of your journey. Stretching across the rushing Capilano River, this bridge sits 230 feet high, creating an overwhelming and deep sensation when looking down at the moving water below. Although originally built from simple wood and steel wires, the structure has been heavily upgraded to ensure absolute safety for everyone who dares to cross the valley. The surrounding scenery consists of towering old-growth trees that block the distant view, making the crossing feel like walking deep into a mysterious and green forest maze. Many visitors are impressed by the bridge's reputation for strength, giving them enough courage to face their fear of heights, even as the structure sways during the walk. This landmark is now a symbol of adventure tourism in Canada, attracting all ages to challenge themselves together amidst the wild and majestic beauty of the mountain forest. This is the Langkawi Sky Bridge, a unique curved structure located on the beautiful Langkawi Island, spanning between two majestic peaks within the Gunung Mat Chincang mountain range. Situated over 2,100 feet above sea level, the bridge offers visitors a breathtaking 360-degree view of the vast ocean and surrounding islands. Stretching about 410 feet long, the curved design looks like a waving ribbon, making you feel as if you are walking on a soft wire in the sky. The floor combines steel and tempered glass with glass railings on both sides, allowing people to look straight down through the green forest and the deep blue sea. Although the bridge faced some stability issues back in 2008, it was eventually reopened with a much stronger and more stable design for all global travelers. It has since become one of the most famous curved suspension bridges in Southeast Asia, attracting millions of visitors every year who seek a thrilling and scenic adventure. Stretching across the majestic straits in Michigan, United States, the Mackinac Bridge serves as a vital link between the mainland and the beautiful Northern Island region. With a total impressive length of over 26,000 feet, this massive structure proudly holds the record as one of the longest suspension bridge systems globally. The journey across offers a stunning view of deep blue waters, small boats, and several scenic islands scattered all around us in every single direction. Driving on this bridge feels like gliding along a thin ribbon across the ocean, where every meter of the road is filled with powerful natural winds. Known affectionately by locals as the Mighty Mac, this landmark has long been a proud symbol of engineering and landscape for the entire state of Michigan. To complete this wonder, many workers had to face death amidst fierce storms and rapid currents filled with life-threatening risks during the entire construction period. Kahekili Highway is a 20-mile paved route stretching along the steep volcanic cliffs of northeast Maui, Hawaii. With a road width of only 10 to 12 feet, this two-way path forces vehicles to face each other in extremely narrow spaces. Drivers must frequently reverse hundreds of yards on the edge of 300-foot cliffs without guardrails to let oncoming traffic pass. Major car rental companies in the United States often void all insurance if tourists intentionally drive their vehicles into this area. The terrain consists of many blind curves and steep slopes, where the safe travel speed only ranges from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Any mistake on this narrow coastal road results in a free fall into the ocean with no chance for recovery. At the majestic Fansipan Peak, the Bak Long Glass Bridge appears like a transparent silk ribbon hanging mid-air amidst the mystical Sapa forests covered in thick mountain clouds. Built firmly between two vertical cliffs, this bridge sits over 6,500 feet high, making every single step feel like an incredible walk through the open air. The floor consists of transparent tempered glass panels, allowing a direct view into the deep abyss where trees and rocks seem to blend into the very bottom of clouds. Inspired by famous structures worldwide, this unique design was carefully adjusted to perfectly withstand specific and harsh weather conditions found within the high mountains of northern Vietnam. The overwhelming height of this bridge has become a symbol of bravery for young travelers who always dream of conquering the famous and grand roof of Indochina Peak. Being located at the highest point in Vietnam, every moment spent on the bridge provides a true feeling of standing on the clouds and reaching the vast blue sky. The ultimate driving nightmare in Maryland is crossing the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, a massive structure that links the Delmarva Peninsula with the busy West Shore region. With a total length exceeding 75,000 feet, this structure stands as one of the longest and most intimidating bridge systems in the entire world. The soaring spans reach 14,000 feet for each section, making travelers feel like they are moving on a suspended path over the open sea. From afar, the bridge looks like a narrow path floating between the sea and sky with no mountains or forests, causing people to lose orientation. Because the immense length prevents placing supports in the middle of the bay, the entire structure faces constant concerns regarding structural deformation and heavy shaking. Many drivers must take a deep breath or pray before crossing, as the powerful winds and endless distance create a truly haunting and unsettling experience. Located in Washington State, the Deception Pass Bridge stands 180 feet above a narrow strait filled with extremely powerful and dangerous whirlpools swirling below. Stretching nearly 1,500 feet long, this historic structure connects two large islands over deep water and steep, rugged rock cliffs. The intense tidal currents flow at speeds up to 9 knots, creating massive whirlpools that make falling into the gorge a fatal experience for anyone. Serving as a vital link between the islands, this massive steel bridge carries thousands of travelers every year, despite the intimidating natural forces and height. Many drivers report feeling intense vertigo when glancing at the swirling water and often hurry across to escape the overwhelming sense of danger and space. From a distance, the bridge appears as a narrow, curved ribbon stretching between two cliffs, creating the terrifying illusion of a path floating over deadly water. This is the Gavia Pass in Italy, a deadly route reaching 8,600 feet that is frequently covered by sudden and violent alpine snowstorms. You will feel the terrifying thin line between life and death as you navigate your vehicle through sharp turns that lack any modern safety barriers. In many sections, the path is narrower than 2 cars, forcing drivers to reverse along steep cliffs to let oncoming traffic pass through the tight space. The roadway clings directly to rugged rock walls, where the terrain is sharply divided by deep valleys that drop down for thousands of feet below. This is the Gotthard Pass in Switzerland, a high-altitude route reaching 6,900 feet that connects northern and southern Europe through the Central Alps. Local legends say that this road does not just test your driving skills, but challenges your very soul as you stare into the bottomless abyss. Since the 13th century construction of the famous Devil's Bridge, this path has served as a vital trade link while being shrouded in dangerous myths. You will feel the terrifying reality of driving on ancient cobblestones that seem to be suspended in the sky between steep cliffs and deep drops. Due to the complex geology of the Lepontine Alps, travelers must constantly watch for sudden landslides and falling rocks that can strike the road without warning. The dense system of hairpin turns transforms every mile of the journey into a grueling driving test, pushing the limits of control for any heavy vehicle. Hidden within the French Alps, the Combe-Laval Road is a breathtaking architectural marvel that clings to massive white limestone cliffs high above the deep valley floor. Originally carved in the 19th century for timber transport, this mountain path was vital for connecting isolated alpine communities to the rest of the world. A sense of pure weightlessness will overcome you as you navigate through narrow balconies carved directly into the rock walls, suspended thousands of feet in the air. Formed from extremely hard Triassic limestone, these vertical cliffs allow for intense gradients that can reach 10% along the most challenging sections of the route. Directly below your wheels lie deep valleys filled with jagged rocks and sparse vegetation that clings to the white limestone walls in a stunning display of nature. The French government has invested in upgrading this road as it serves as a critical gateway for visitors exploring the magnificent and vast limestone landscapes. Commonwealth Avenue in Metro Manila is a long, busy boulevard connecting many key urban areas, playing an important role in transportation. The avenue stretches about 12 miles, serving hundreds of thousands of vehicles every day, becoming a standard for urban traffic studies. The system of traffic lights and wide lanes helps regulate vehicle flow, providing efficient operation during peak hours. Both sides of the avenue are lined with dense residential and commercial buildings, providing real data for urban development and transport research. Overpasses and concrete dividers help manage traffic flow, increase safety, and optimize movement for vehicles. Commonwealth Avenue is one of the very few avenues worldwide combining 12-lane width with the highest volume of buses and motorcycles in the Philippines. The Royal Gorge Bridge is located in Colorado at 956 feet high, holding the world record for the highest suspension bridge for many long and proud decades. The distance of nearly 300 meters above the Arkansas River makes anyone looking down feel completely overwhelmed by the smallness of humans compared to the vast natural world. Standing on the bridge, you will admire vertical red cliffs and the winding river below, creating a very vivid and majestic natural painting right before your own surprised eyes. The bridge deck is made of Oregon pine planks, creating a very distinctive creaking sound with every single step, making the thrill feel much more real and truly intense. This valley is one of the deepest canyons in Colorado, providing stunning views while also creating an extremely terrifying pressure of height for those brave enough to cross it. Listed in the National Register of Historic Places, this bridge is not just an engineering feat, but also a proud symbol of the history and spirit of Colorado State. Nische. Hidden along the southern coast of Italy, the Amalfi Coast Road appears like a beautiful dream while hiding deadly traps just inches from the cliff edge. You will feel your heart race as you navigate through twisting turns so tight that two passing vehicles can barely move without touching each other. This 30-mile stretch clings to towering limestone cliffs, where the unstable terrain faces constant threats of sudden landslides and falling stones after heavy coastal rains. The roadway is engineered to stay fixed to the vertical rock, leaving almost no room for safety buffers or separation between oncoming lines of heavy traffic. Winding through beautiful villages like Positano and Amalfi, this route offers a stunning yet terrifying experience where every inch of the road demands perfect control. Driving along this Mediterranean cliffside is more than just a scenic tour. It is a true test of nerves for anyone brave enough to take the wheel. Connecting Da Nang and Thua Thien Hua, the Haivan Pass navigates the Truong Son Range with a series of sharp turns located directly along the East Sea. This 12-mile route features average gradients of 6 to 9%, with specific hairpin turns reaching a steep 12% that requires heavy braking. The geological formation is unique, as the mountain spurs push directly into the ocean, creating an immediate transition from rugged rock to deep water. Serving as a critical strategic defense line throughout Vietnamese history, the pass once controlled all military and commercial movements between the northern and southern regions. From the summit, the view offers a direct observation of the sharp contrast between vertical rock faces and the endless coastline stretching toward the horizon. These distinct terrain features and historical significance have consistently placed the route on international lists of the world's most impressive coastal driving roads. Situated at an elevation of over 6,000 feet in the Swiss Alps, the Clausen Pass connects two regions separated by deeply fragmented and rugged mountain terrain. Used since the Middle Ages as a vital trade route, this mountain path gained international fame for hosting legendary hill climb races in the early 20th century. Navigating through more than 100 sharp hairpin turns, your journey becomes a continuous test of braking precision and vehicle control on steep and demanding slopes. The local geology consists mainly of limestone and sedimentary rock, creating steep cliff faces that remain highly susceptible to natural erosion over long periods of time. Due to the narrow width, large vehicles and trailers are strictly restricted, as any collision could easily cause a catastrophic slide off the steep mountain embankments. Every kilometer becomes a relentless trial for heavy vehicles, requiring immense engine power and constant braking to manage the persistent and punishing gradients. The Million-Dollar Highway stretches about 25 miles, crossing the San Juan Mountains in the United States with steep terrain and deep, dangerous abysses along the entire way. The name comes from its high construction costs, or the belief that the dirt beneath the road contains millions of dollars worth of rich and precious gold ore. The landscape features reddish-brown cliffs and snowy peaks, where sharp curves tightly embrace deep valleys lying far below the feet of those traveling along these very steep mountains. Zigzag sections appear continuously, forming a dense chain of turns that force you to maintain maximum concentration on every steering movement to overcome this difficult and challenging path. Danger reaches its peak at sections without guardrails, where the boundary between safety and the deep abyss is separated by only a very small and extremely narrow distance. This is a legendary route for road trip enthusiasts who long for the feeling of conquering the most extreme and harsh limits of nature through this majestic journey. This is the Pico de Veleta in Spain's Sierra Nevada, reaching nearly 11,000 feet as one of the highest and most demanding roads in all of Europe. Originally constructed for scientific and military purposes, this high-altitude path now serves as an ultimate destination for experienced off-road drivers and professional motorcyclists seeking a challenge. The route represents a unique blend of modern engineering and raw natural terrain, where the asphalt cuts directly through some of the most rugged landscapes in the region. Featuring extreme gradients of up to 18%, this climb is considered too long and difficult even for the world's most elite professional cycling grand tours.